Hi, my name is Mark Nejma. Today is July 13th, 2021. I'm from Newsweed.com, and I'm going to give you a rundown of the news for today. There are more mass graves in Poland being discovered of Jews that were murdered during the Second World War, and these are outside of concentration camps. The low water near Auschwitz had made a discovery of many 12 or more skulls. There may be more hidden mass graves in Poland, and the search is on. In New Jersey, nearly 88,000 low-level marijuana offenses have been dismissed over the past 2 weeks. The state Supreme Court said as New Jersey transitions to legalizing and decriminalizing the drug, the dismissed cases announced late Monday afternoon are the first in a wave of about 360,000 that are eligible to be automatically vacated, dismissed, and expunged under the decriminalization law Governor Phil Murphy signed earlier this year. Although the first batch of cases have been dismissed, they still have to go through the expungement process, which is automatic under the law. Earlier this month, the Supreme Court Justice Stuart Rabner directed that the pending cases and warrants for fourth-degree and disorderly persons offenses related to marijuana or hashish, including possession and distribution of small amounts, being under the influence and operating a motor vehicle while in possession of the drugs, be dismissed. Well, isn't that nice? Now, from what I understand, even young children will be only warned if found with marijuana until they reach the third time, and then I think their parents are notified. They are also including, finally, use of alcohol, which is probably the biggest problem in the state of New Jersey. I personally have been hit head-on twice by drunk drivers. Let's hope they get this right. But it is government, so I doubt it. Down in Miami, Surfside condo deaths has risen to 95. Again, here at Newsweed, we're very upset that they destroyed evidence by knocking down the other building. The DEA has confirmed that former arrested people in Haitian over the president's death were in fact actually DEA informants. A drug enforcement agency official has confirmed that a suspect alleged to be involved in the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was a former informant to the agency. At times, one of the suspects in the assassination of the Haitian President Jovenel. After the assassination of Moïse earlier this week, the suspect reached out to the DEA contacts while a DEA official called on him to surrender to local authorities, according to the spokesman. DEA is aware of reports that President assassins called out DEA at the time of their attack. These individuals were not acting on behalf of DEA, the spokesperson said. Something smells fishy. Haitian authorities arrested 2 Haitian American men last week, Joseph Vincent, 55, and James Salages, 35, and charged them with joining 26 Colombians in the fatal attack. Somebody really wanted this guy dead. Question: did he have something on the DEA? Are drugs coming into our country now that we've legalized marijuana in many, many states? What is happening? It's never as it seems. This is not just an assassination of a president. There's something going on here. This area of Haiti and Dominican Republic is known as a pathway of drugs into the United States. Sounds like there's big money at stake here, and it sounds like something's funny. Anyway, it's not clear which suspect, if either, was the DEA informant. A third Haitian American, Christian Emmanuel Sanon, was arrested on July 11th by Haitian authorities. They accused Sanon of being the mastermind behind the assassination, as we reported yesterday that he is from Florida. This is a very, very big story, and it may be a bigger story in your own neighborhoods as drugs continue to flood the United States. Yes, we are Newsweed.com, and we talk about the pros and the cons of the marijuana trade, as well as using marijuana or not using marijuana. On some lighter news, Elon Musk has been sparring with an attorney during the Tesla Solar City trial. Investors and pension funds leading the lawsuit allege that Tesla CEO Elon Musk and the firm's board breached their fiduciary duties when they agreed to a buyout of Solar City. Elon Musk managed to keep his temper in check as he wrapped up his second and final day of tough questioning about Tesla. Now, this is an important case because pension funds are huge buyers or sellers of Tesla stock, and they have many, many friends. It's big money controlled by a few people. Now, if this case goes awry and somebody pisses somebody off, you could see a massive drop in Tesla stock by a sell-off out of collaboration. You heard it here on Newsweed. Elon Musk takes a stand in trial over Tesla purchase of Solar City, seeing stars. Musk says SpaceX ready to spend $30 billion on Starlink, unveils Model S Plaid, Tesla's fastest car to date. Tesla chief Elon Musk tweets and Bitcoin jumps again. Elon Musk seems to be a very powerful man. Anyway, the world's second richest man was the chairman and largest shareholder of both companies at the time of the deal, and trial centers on how much of a role he played in pushing his board and shareholders to approve it. I've never been a fan of solar, although I do own goodsolar.com, and it happens to be for sale for that matter. Solar seems to be the least efficient technology out there for renewable energy. Number one, it interrupts either ground or it starts to interrupt the roof application and can cause a lot of leaks. Solar City was the solar company in the country, and yet pretty much it has been a failure. Now Elon Musk has another glass product that was actually developed by Dow and failed as a solar product, but they are still moving ahead with it. I think the whole thing wraps up that you've got electric cars, so you need electricity. Elon Musk is smart enough to realize that, well, that's going to put a burden on the electricity that is currently being produced. So why not have solar panels and tell everybody that solar panels are the solution? Or maybe they're not. Anyway, investors and pension funds who are leading the suit allege that Musk and Tesla's board breached the fiduciary duties. The trial expected to take a total of 2 weeks. If Musk wins, and if the judge finds the deal was a legitimate transaction, it will either be another example of Teflon Elon largely escaping consequences. If he loses, Musk could be ordered to dig into his own pocket to hand back a roughly $2 billion that Tesla shelled out for Solar City. It would also be a hit to his reputation as a tech titan who nearly always gets his way. Well, folks, he better hope that that's what happens. He better take the $2 billion out of his pocket now or get to a settlement before the 2 weeks, because the price of Tesla could drop tremendously if the pension funds get pissed off. Let's move on, shall we? Let's get to the next story. Yes. Finally, an interesting story. Nuclear-powered spacecrafts are on their way. NASA has topped Blue Origin and GE to try to get nuclear power to the spaceship so they can go to Mars. Hey, how about small little new-scale nuclear power in our neighborhoods, in our airports? It's going to happen. And we will dust off the old solar panels and say bye-bye. President Biden has warned U.S. firms at the risk of operating in Hong Kong. That pretty much tells me that Biden thinks that that China has won the situation there. We're not going near it. We're not touching it. no, 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 we're not going to war with China. So we lost Hong Kong. So anybody who's doing business in Hong Kong, you better watch out because you're going to lose your money. You heard it here on Newsweed. Remember that guy Borat? Well, he's angry that they use his picture on a billboard, and he's suing some cannabis companies. Oh, well. He's a funny guy, but don't mess with him. J&J and AstraZeneca explore COVID vaccine changes due to clots, according to the Wall Street Journal. Clots. How about the immunity problem, immune deficiency? That's a bigger problem. You try to do the right thing, be a good American, get a vaccine, and then you get sick. I think it's probably better that people try to, how can I say this, figure out if they need the vaccine by doing some other genetic testing. That's why I recommend BNGO stock, although it's not a real recommendation. I'm not a financial person, but I'm an owner of BNGO, Bionano Genomics, or PacBio, or Illumina. We can't just be vaccinating people with these harmful vaccines. We need to figure out who's susceptible and who's not. Let's hope we go in that direction. Jeff Bezos is trying to tap an 82-year-old woman. Let me rephrase that. Bezos is trying to tap an aerospace pioneer, Wally Funk, for Blue Origin flight. Wally Funk is an 82-year-old pilot who was denied astronaut wings decades ago because of his gender. Her gender. Why the name Wally? Anyway, Biden to warn U.S. firms. We did that. Oh, South Africa. I was asked to take a trip to South Africa. I said, no, I cannot go to South Africa. And good thing I did, because there's nothing but trouble there. Now the death toll is up to 72. People are looting stores, just like here in America. Maybe I should be scared to live in America. Anyway, protests that followed Zuma's arrest last week have widened into looting and an outpouring of generalized anger over inequality that persists 27 years after the fall of apartheid. Poverty has been exacerbated by severe social and economic restrictions aimed at blocking the spread of COVID-19. Politicians, are you stupid or something? Don't you realize people have to eat? Would they rather be poor or would they rather be dead? Now let's see. When I was roofing back in the 80s and 90s and I was using carcinogens myself, sucking up that smoke, I said, I'd rather be dead than poor. And that's why I did it. Security officials said that the government was working to halt the spread of violence and looting, which has so far spread from Zuma's home in KwaZulu-Natal province to Gauteng province, surrounding the country's biggest city, Johannesburg. Why can't politicians understand what people really want? They want to secure their family. They want to love. They want to be able to take care of each other. You idiots. Anyway, that's pretty much our news for now. Although the situation in South Africa is calming down. And let's just make sure we've got it all. Vaccine rollouts they're worried about while people are getting shot in South Africa. Maybe they need to get themselves together. That's our news tip for today. It's not all the news. It's not what it can be. It's not what it should be. It's what I was able to put together myself. Working alone here at Newsweed is a little bit more difficult, but we are hiring. So if you're looking to bring some real journalism to someone who is willing to invest in the news, please give me a call. Newsweed is trying to deliver the truth without being biased, although I seem to be somewhat biased. I just can't stand listening to the news and not being biased, but I don't want to be that kind of guy. So please, if you're a journalist, please apply. Just contact Mark, M-A-R-K, at newsweed.com. I'm looking for journalists all over the world, and we pay. Thank you so much. Remember, it's never as it seems. Have a great evening.